Hello, this is Joel, and my group and I are going to be talking to you about Friedrich Froebel, a famous pioneer of education. He was a teacher and a professor. He was born in Germany. I want to start by mentioning one quote made by him that says, "Play is the highest expression of human development in childhood, for it alone is the free expression of what is in the child's soul." This is one of this quote is quite important because he refers to the base of his theories, and he tells us about what all his ideas are all about. And his ideas and his theory is are based on some principles. These are those principles. The first one is freedom with guidance, and it says that children should be free to handle situations according to games that they play. It wakes up their talent, creativity, and uniqueness. They should be allowed to move, explore, and create freedom. It also says that freedom should remain in the framework of respect to others, the resources, and the environment. Adult guidance is also necessary for that purpose. Another principle is unity, connectedness, and community. Through this, he argued that everything is connected, and education should point to that unity. Feelings, thoughts, relationships, individuality, and communal integration are relevant for their development. Next one is engagement with nature. Through this, he emphasized on children experiencing all aspects of nature, not just plants and animals. That includes universal laws of nature, such as forces, gradient, gravity, motion, energy, light, sound, properties of materials, and their transformation. Then we have learn through self-activity and reflection. Children learn through doing, exploring, playing, taking part, and posing questions to understand the world. Then we have the central importance of play, and this is quite important because many of his ideas rest upon this principle. Playing is important of being human and being fully alive. It helps them to see themselves as part of the world. It develops awareness about symbols and symbolic thoughts. Then we have creativity and the power of symbols. It allows children to connect the inner worlds of feelings and ideas to the outer world of things and experiences to reflect on them both. And then we have, finally, knowledgeable and nurturing educators. Educators should be nurtured and support children's growing potential as autonomous, thoughtful, feeling, and creative learners. The relationship between teachers and students should be based on respect, interaction, and be intellectually grateful, not interfering or dominating. Now, Pamela will talk more about Froebel.
Hello, everyone. This is Pamela Ortiz, and I'm going to continue talking about Froebel, the kindergarten movement. Froebel, the most gifted of the early 19th century educators, founded the kindergarten movement in a theory on the importance of constructive play and self-activity in early childhood. He was known as an intensely religious man who tended toward pantheism and has been called a nature mystic. Pantheism is the doctrine that the universe as a whole is God. An important figure back then was Anton Gruner. He persuaded Froebel, to become a teacher. And after many years of pursuing his dreams, finally in Switzerland in 1831, Froebel opened a school, an orphanage, and also a teacher training course. The pedagogy of Froebel. His ideas have a mystical metaphysical context. He viewed man as a child of God, of nature and humanity, who must learn to understand his unity, diversity, and individuality, corresponding to this threefold aspect of his being. For Froebel, education had two aspects. The teacher was to remove hindrances to the self-development of self-activity of the child, but also to correct deviation from what man's experience has thought is right and best. He also believed that behavior should be measured according to a third force between teacher and child, a Christian idea of goodness and truth. Froebel emphasized play in child education. According to him, games are the most important step in the development of a child, not idle time wasting. Froebel said once that children are like tiny flowers. They are buried and need care, but each is beautiful alone and glorious when seen in the community of peers. The role of the educator. According to Froebel, observing, supporting, and extending children's play and learning was very important. Reflecting on observations, often in dialogue with others, as a way of deepening understanding of children's lives and learning. Working in close partnership with parents, families, and community. Froebel argued that any nursery or school should be in close and living relationship with people's lives. A commitment to reflective practice and further study. This includes ongoing professional development within a strong learning community. Now, my classmate Lucas will continue talking about the importance of play according to Froebel.
Okay, hello everyone. I'm going to be talking about Frederick Froebel's ideas and practices presented in today's learning. So, Froebel, through a set of wooden blocks he gave his cousin, gave us two gifts in one: a practical resource designed for children's learning and free play, and an invitation to observe and reflect on practice. Both gifts are still relevant today. To start off, Froebel's gifts. Froebel's three forms, or Froebel's gifts, were used differently to blocks today. The wooden blocks in a series of wooden boxes followed the instruction of felt balls in gift one. For Froebel, the sphere symbolized his theory of unity. The second gift introduced children to Froebel's concept of opposition and reconciliation. The sphere and cube seem to be opposites, but the cylinder combines element of both. Froebel recognized a child's curiosity in exploring the familiar and unfamiliar. Next, we have gifts 3 to 6, consisted of a variety of wooden prisms based on a square, triangle, or rectangle bases. Each gift was created from a cube section at different angles or directions. Froebel recognized the kid's impulse for self-activity and taking things apart and reforming them. So initially explained his thinking of how to use the gifts in explicit ways. And lastly, we have blocks, play, and learning. So in playing with blocks, children demonstrate what they know. They explore algebra and geometry, from simple shape recognition to the concepts of point, line, plane, distance, and angle, just in the sequence of Froebel's gifts and occupations. And children can create structures in playing with blocks as well: reflections, rotations, and translations. And the support, and that will support later on abstract understanding of geometry. Blocks encourage symmetrical building, giving children the opportunity to explore symmetry in far greater depth than the two-dimensional folded paper and painting exercises from a common instruction. And in conclusion, blocks provide children with opportunities to learn about size, shape, measurements, and they can begin to start using the standard unit to equivalence, quantity, sorting, matching, and problem solving. Thank you.